Welcome back, everybody, to leg 12 of the Ambassadors trip between Penzance and Inverness, the full run up the UK between TSW and TS Classic. You last left me at Preston and I handed over to Train Simulator Driver to take you up the West Coast Main Line over Shap. So we've arrived at Carlisle. This is where I'm taking over again, and I'm going to take you for the first time over the border into Scotland. And what I've chosen for this is a sleeper service in the Class 90, because everybody loves a Class 90, don't they? Everybody. I don't care what you say. And I thought this one would be a little bit different. So the passengers have all come up from Penzance. They're probably all really tired. They can all jump on the sleeper for this leg, but why would you want to? Why would you want to miss this? There's some stunning scenery on the West Coast Main Line North, which is of course the route that we are on today. We'll talk a little bit more about the service and the whole schedule that the Ambassadors have been covering, but we'll just take it off pause and we'll get everything set up, ready to go. So first of all, let's have the master key on over here, which is there. Put it into forwards. Then we need to get the ETS on. Headlights are over here. Can put the instrument lights on. Then we probably need the markers as well, which are just there. I think we're all good to go. So we'll have a look at the schedule as well, and we'll just talk about that. So this is the 1 Sierra 26. It's actually the 2350 hours London Euston to Glasgow Central. Hello driver, as soon as you're ready you may get on your way northwards towards Glasgow Central, stopping at Carstairs and Motherwell on the way. Due to these stops being set down only, you may get the right away earlier than booked. Also please note that at Carstairs you'll need to detach the rear 8 coaches, which will continue to Edinburgh under the control of another locomotive. Additionally, there is a 60 mph temporary speed limit restriction enforced at Echo-Fechan, careful how you say that you must be aware of. And finally, your maximum permitted speed is 80 mph, so as to provide a comfortable journey for those sleeping on board. But again, why would you want to miss it? There's some lovely scenery. You have to travel a long way to go by sleeper, don't you? But enough of that. This is the biggest, this first section is the biggest section of this trip, which is about 73.5 miles. I'm going to take the DRA off. We're going to get the brakes off. I'm quickly going to set the speed to 20, which is what we've got leaving Carlisle. There we go. Let's take a quick look outside as we leave. It's probably a bit early for the horn, but I know what you guys are like. A 90 horn is great. We've got a 156 over there as well, which we'll just go and have a look at before we leave in ScotRail livery. Very nice. Just ready to go out. And let's make our way to Carstairs. It did say at Carstairs we've got to detach the rear 8 coaches, so we might have a bit of a layover at Carstairs. If we do, then I will just cut that bit out of the video so you don't have to wait around for 10 minutes or whatever it might be, depending how early we get there. I guess there's some workers here on the track, so sorry everybody if you're in bed in the houses. It's tough. We've got a safety issue. So there we go. This is the 60. There's a guy, looks like the lookout. Excellent. Right. So it is early morning. The sky is just showing those first specks of dawn. It should brighten up fairly substantially as we go. If we look on the briefing, we're due into Glasgow at 7:18. So it's quite nice, isn't it? Going on the sleeper and just waking up in Glasgow is quite a novel idea. I wonder how much it costs. Must cost a fortune. I imagine it does. Right, we are coming into a 60. So let's actually we've got a 25 coming up, so I'm gonna leave it at 25. Save us jolting the passengers around in the beds. So this is leg 12. We've already been on the Cornish main line with British Ace, the South Devon I can't even say it now. The South Devon main line, the South Western Expressways, the Great Western Express, the Bakerloo line, the West Coast main line south, twice. Once in TSW, once in TS Classic. Then we went on the Birmingham Cross City line TSW. Then, of course, with me, you came on leg 9 on the West Coast mainline, Trent Valley, Lichfield, Trent Valley to Stafford. Then we went on the missing link, also on the West Coast mainline. We went between Stafford and Preston. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we went Preston to Carlisle. So that covers quite a large section. I don't know what that is in miles, actually. It'd be interesting to know in miles what that is. But it's a decent run already, and we're by no means finishing yet. Once we get to Glasgow, the plan is that Neil TV8 will take us a run around the Cathcart Circle while we're there in TSW. Then in leg 13, the British Ace is back. He's going to take us on the Glasgow subway. Then he will also take us on the suburban Glasgow Northwest. So we're spending a little bit of time in and around Glasgow, which is quite nice. As I just get it up to the 80, which is our maximum speed, remember. And then we go on to the Highland lines, which has got more stunning scenery than this route has. And that'll be a combination of Train Simulator Driver once again, and then I get the pleasure and the honour to run us between the Kyle of Lochalsh to Inverness, which could be a two-parter because it's quite long, that. But it's nice. I'll get to finish the whole journey, which is quite nice. So there we go. I've not got the DSD on at the moment because I do want to keep nipping in and out of the cab. So I hope you don't mind that I have not got that switched on. I don't want to keep going out of the cab and then failing. Because I do want to give you some external views of this as well. That early morning sun, it's great. Then we do our first flyby shop. If I just go further up the line, got some traffic over there, look, which is quite good. A couple of 66s. We'll go up here near this factory or whatever it is, warehouse, and we'll just have a quick look as we go through. Let's take that off, then you can see it. That is a decent length of train, isn't it? Right, we've got 70. So right at the moment we're due in at Carstairs at 6:18, which then is exactly an hour from Glasgow. However, as I said, there will be a layover, which I will cut out of the video once we get to Carstairs, and we've detached the rear 8 carriages. So we're at leg 12. What has been your favourite leg so far in this? Or favourite section? We keep calling it legs. It sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? It is a leg. We could have called it part, leg, section. What's been your favourite so far? We've done quite a few up to this point. As I said, this is leg 12. The total we've got is we've got 17 legs in total, so there's quite a few, all varying distances. Hopefully, a lot of you have been watching the playlist from the beginning and watching these over the weekend as we've released them as well. That'd be good. Drop me a comment if you've watched it up to this point the whole way through. I will probably do the same thing, to be honest, once these go out. I'll quite look forward to that when it starts. And also, if you've enjoyed the whole run, let any of us know that took part, because we can always plan something else that's similar and do the same thing. That'd be quite good. Right, we are making tracks. 67 to go. Let's take a look outside again. This livery is very nice. And this is one of the ones that comes with the AP Class 90. I think I've run on this West Coast Main Line North. I think it's probably the Class 90 that I've run the most on this section. I know on the channel we've run a couple of times on live streams as well in the 90, which has been quite nice in various liveries. Always love to drive the 90. Bit of a favourite for a lot of people. So I chose this just like the Missing Link because this is a decent run and I love a decent run. I'm more of a fan of the decent run than I am the stop-start, so this suits me. And the good thing about TS Classic is you can just sit there and you can go on a longer journey like this and really, really get into it. I get quite immersed in this once I'm doing it. And the fact that I can drive now from Carlisle up to Glasgow is excellent, because it's a decent hop, that. And you can of course get the merge from Alan Thompson Sim as well, which merges. There's the Scottish border, by the way. Scotland welcomes you. Please drive safe. You can get the merge, which merges the West Coast Main Line over Shap and West Coast Main Line North as well. So you can run, and we've done it on the channel as well. You can run all the way between Preston and Glasgow, and with another little extension you can get from the, I think from the Steam Workshop, you can go to Edinburgh as well. So Scottish Railways are quite well represented in TS Classic. In Trainsim World we've not quite got the same length of routes at the moment. Hopefully for the future that'd be something that could be done. I'd love to see that. Although West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle is a decent run. That's not a short route by any stretch. So that has made a massive difference to me in TSW. Love that. Love that. Can't stop playing that. That's why I left Preston to Carlisle to somebody else to do in this journey. Because I would have probably grabbed that as well. You would have been sick of me by the end. So I just left that for Train Simulator Driver. I'm sure he's done a more than capable job, to be fair. He usually does. There's a lot of people about this early morning. I don't know if those guys are static scenery and they're like all the time, including nights. Can't remember. I am periodically going to save it as well, so I'm going to do it now. Just in case we get any errors, we can restart. It's always worth doing that. In both TS Classic and in TSW, by the way, if you're doing a longer run in TSW, make sure you do that as well. Just in case you're like me and you have a tendency to occasionally spad. At least then you've got a restart point. So on the schedule, we will arrive, we're meant to arrive 6:17, but we depart at 6:30. So there is a 30, if we're on time, there's a 13-minute, possibly more if we're ahead of schedule, 13-minute layover at Carstairs. So I will take that out just for purposes of you guys watching all these legs. I don't think there'll be too much very exciting to see if I left it in. Just British Ace and I were speculating about this trip, and we wondered if there was potentially any other trips we could do between TS Classic and TSW like this, where we could get end to end in any other country like we've done with this one. We weren't quite sure, actually. Or could we go, in some way, could we go coast to coast from Blackpool to, just trying to think, have we got Hull, for example, in TS Classic? I don't know if we've got Hull in TS Classic. So I wonder if you could go coast to coast that way, you know, west to east or east to west, perhaps. But it would be nice to do it in another country as well. So I don't know. I haven't got much of, in TS Classic, I haven't got much of the non-UK stuff, I must admit. TSW, I've pretty much got everything, but not TS Classic, because I've come to TS Classic late. It had already been out 13 years, I think, by the time I've got into TS Classic, and I really do enjoy it, actually. So I've been TSW player for many years, since it released actually on console. And TS Classic's very much come several years later, but it's just enhanced my enjoyment of train sims and just railways in general. The perfect hobby, I would say. And I get to speak to you a great lot as well. Speaking of which, don't forget to come and join the Discord. There'll be a link in the description to this video if you want to come and join the Discord. And it goes without saying, as we would all say, don't forget as well to just give me a like if you're enjoying it, and subscribe to the channel as well. I will be much appreciative of that, as we all would. Right, how are we doing? We've got 57 miles to go to Carstairs. The sun is creeping up higher and higher as we go. We don't have a view inside the sleeper carriages, which is a shame. It'd be nice if we could see what they were like. Obviously not when anyone's occupying one of the berths, but it'd be nice to have a look. Wow, look at that hump there, the train's going over. And as it mentioned as well, we're going to Glasgow, but the rear 8 coaches are off to Edinburgh. So you want to make sure you're in the right coach, don't you, when you get on at Euston. Yeah, if you do know the prices for taking a trip like this between London and Scotland, drop it in the comments below. It's going to be expensive just going that length of distance anyway, just as a passenger. But I imagine the sleepers are really expensive. I'd love to do it, Don't get me wrong. Maybe I'll treat myself when I retire. But can I do half of it? Does it only pick up at Euston? Is that the only place you can get on? I'm not sure. This is the 60 coming up, so we will get some brakes on for the 60. Coming up in 3/4 of a mile or so. Oops. No, I did not mean to do that. I'm going to emergency brake now. Oh my word. Right, so we're going to come to a stop instead of going to the 60. So we're definitely gonna be all right for the 60. Dear me, that is my fingers on the keys. That's all that was. So apologies for that. But it's fine. We've tested the emergency brake. Everybody's fallen out of bed in the back. But that's fine. No, it gives me an opportunity now to set this to the speed set to 60 as we see the brakes are coming off. I'll put it back in forwards. And we should be able to get underway pretty quick. There we go. It's not caused us too much of a delay. But that was less than ideal. Completely unplanned. The sun is risen right high now, you see. It's bathing the route in sunlight. And we haven't got to the most prettiest part of the route yet, I'll be honest with you. Once we start winding between the hills, it looks pretty good. So here's the speed restriction. We've no danger of going over that now. I do that quite a bit. I've got fat fingers and I've got them hovering over the keys. I've got it hovering over the brake apply button and the brake release button. It's almost like I get a twitch in my fingers and I put the brake on one step too much, and yeah, if you're a regular on the channel you'll see that quite a bit. Neutral section coming up. Of course, in the 90 we don't have to do anything with the neutral sections. We don't have to power down or anything like that. Didn't see that guy there. His little shed. He's obviously something to do with the speed restriction. And we've still got 53 miles to go to Carstairs. I can't see any work going on yet in this speed restriction, so I'm not really sure what that's for, unless we've got some issue with the track perhaps. Maybe it's up here a little bit, not sure. In fact, we're out of the restriction now, aren't we? So I don't know what that was. Let's resume the 80, shall we? Which is the maximum permitted. So we're doing, well, 6:18 and 50 seconds. We'll probably shave some of that off, to be honest. I think this Class 90 back from Armstrong Powerhouse is a bit, it's a bit old now. However, it's still pretty good. I keep picking these things up in the sale. Some of them I've not even run with yet, but whilst they're on sale, you gotta sort of take advantage, really. Save yourself a few quid in the long run. But as I said, the 90 I've used quite a bit. It's iconic, isn't it, the 90? Right, we're up to the 80 miles per hour. We've got 50 miles to go, which is great. We're coming up to the section of the route that I quite enjoy, with some of the best scenery. I think we'll do another flyby, shall we? So I'll go and race ahead. Or somewhere up here. We don't need to worry now that the DSD is off. We'll go this side of the track this time. Why not? Magic. Right, we're approaching Lockerbie. At speed. Here's the platform. So in this scenario, there's a couple of pieces, just a couple of small pieces of DLC required that I'm missing, but it shouldn't affect your enjoyment of this scenario at all. I think there's just one occasion where you'll hear something coming past that doesn't exist. Unfortunately, I can't do a lot about that. It's something I haven't got or can locate, so that hopefully won't spoil your enjoyment too much. Everything else is in there. It's pretty decent scenario. Once we get towards Glasgow, the traffic starts picking up quite a fair bit in the scenario. So normally up here we can run up to decent speed. What is the top speed of the 90? 110? I can see 110 there on the speed set. So 110 I assume is the maximum speed, but because of the passengers we've got and what they're doing right now, we need to maintain a maximum 80, which is quite nice. It's quite a nice cruise up the line. Quite relaxing. It's relaxing without the DSD on. So we've got 45 to go till Carstairs. I presume on the sleeper there's not only is it, as it says, it's a sleeper, but you know it's a full restaurant service and you know meals. Probably an evening meal maybe or something when you get on. If it's the 23.50 from Euston, you're going to want to have had a bit of tea by then, aren't you? You know, but I assume something will be served, and then obviously breakfast perhaps as well. Depends, because we'll be in Glasgow by 7:18. I suppose some people will rise quite early and want the breakfast. You probably pay extra for it. I don't know if it's included. But even having a meal on the train, it's quite nice, isn't it? The few times that I've been in first class, just generally, between Preston and London, has always been a pleasure. I haven't done it with Avanti, actually. I will have to, on one of my next travels, I will have to see if I can get a seat frog or something to upgrade the ticket, because I do fancy trying out the first class Avanti if I can. Depends what type of deal I can get on that. But a few of our other ambassadors do that a lot. I know Megasim, he's big into the seat frog. In fact, it was him that was showing me at the last ambassadors event that we went to down at Dovetail. He was showing me seat frog and how it works and how to bid and all that kind of thing. But he does it all the time. I don't think he goes in standard class these days. He's one of them. He doesn't slum it with the rest of us. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Mind you, he likes to eat a lot. He's always posting pictures of scones and all sorts. He's always eating. Sorry, Megasim. Right, 41 to go. When we get into Carlisle, we're stopping at the down loop. The exit of down loop 3. Exit 3. And I can't remember, but hopefully we get to see what will take the rear 8 coaches off onwards to Edinburgh. Hopefully the loco is hanging around somewhere. We'll check that out when we get there. I can't quite remember. I've run this once before, this scenario. Certainly in the legs that I've done so far, I've tried to mix it up a bit. So we did the class 325 between Lichfield, Trent Valley and Stafford. Then of course we took out the magnificent Class 86 in the blue and white livery, a classic Class 86. We took that across the missing link between Stafford and Preston. That was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed that one. And then on this one, of course, won the Class 90. Then we've got the next one that I'll be doing is the Carlisle of Glasgow to Inverness. And it won't surprise you to say that we will be in the 37 with all the thrash and clag that it deserves. What else can you run on the Highlands to run it properly, I mean? So we'll be running in 37. 37114, I believe. Has a nameplate, but I can't remember what the name is. You won't have long to wait to find out. So I'll be looking forward to that one. As I said, that's a long one. So we'll do that in 2 parts, but it's nonetheless very enjoyable. Some nice scenery. It's the Highlands. And the Highlands is definitely on my list for TSW. I'd love one of the Highland routes to come to TSW. With a 37, of course. And Carlisle and Glasgow to Inverness, that's actually the Kyle line. That's by Just Trains as well. I think it's quite an early route. But when I got into TS Classic, the Highland lines were, I think, the West Coast Main Line, Overshat was the first one, the first route that I got for TS Classic, for obvious reasons. It's a Preston boy, you know, it's the route I know well, and I just had to drive that. I had to get in and drive that, because at that time we couldn't do it in TSW. So got that one, and then I think after that, the Highlands, all the Highlands ones were the ones I got next, which you might think is a bit strange. If you're a TS Classic person, everybody's got their favourites, haven't they? But I just wanted to, again, we didn't have a, did we have a 37? We did have a 37 by that time in TSW, but the 37 is probably my favourite loco, so I wanted to thrash the 37 around in the Highlands, and I saw how pretty it looked up there, and I thought, right, that's what we're doing. So I picked up the Highland routes. But you do need to dedicate some time to those Highland routes. They're all a pretty decent length. So there's also the West Highland Line South, and there's the West Highland Line Extension as well. West Highland Line South, you can go from Helensburgh upper to Fort William, and Trim Simulator Driver will be doing that, and then Fort William to Mallaig. And then you get a ferry. I think you get a combination of a ferry and a coach in real life from Mallaig over to the Kyle of Lacouche, which is where in this journey I will take over. So we'll have to pretend our passengers have travelled across and are ready to go. I must try at some point to get to somewhere up there on the Highland lines. I'd love to do that. Love to do that. Right, and with that, we're on 35 miles to go, so we're making tracks, aren't we? We're not doing so bad on this. Take another quick look. It's pretty. It's definitely pretty. We do have some traffic coming the other way. As we go up the hill. 66 action. I think if you buy this route on Steam, even if you don't have any of the Armstrong Powerhouse add-ons, there's a heck of a lot you can get for this route, I'll be honest with you. I recently picked up the which one was it that I picked up recently? I can't remember. I got a few in the last Steam sale. The Freightliner, was it the 70? I can't remember if it was the 70 or not. Maybe it wasn't. I got the 70 as well at the same time. I got a couple of Freightliner ones. I think one might have been the 57. Could have been the 57. Anyway, a lot of the DLCs you can get are based on the West Coast Main Line North. Lots of scenarios for the West Coast Main Line North. So if you're a fan of this area, pick this up. It's worth it. You can add a lot to it. And the sales are that frequent as well. Fortunately, if you're on PC and you're playing this, there's lots of sales. You can always pick things up. In fact, I think at the time that this is going out, the sale is on Steam. So if you haven't got it and you fancy it and you've got the ability to play it, go and check it out. It's a very good route. Hopefully all the passengers are doing alright, apart from that one emergency stop that we got from the driver being clumsy. Nobody's pulled the emergency cord yet to get us to stop, so we'll continue on to Carstairs. 6:18 still we are due in, so just under half an hour. This section of the route's really nice with all the trees. Very scenic. Wow, look at this. And all this time we're going up the hill. Look at the hill. 1 in 77. Up we go. Pantograph is sparking away. There it goes. Honestly, I know I've got some enhancements on from AP, but for a 15-year-old game, honestly, it does look decent. Still, that hill just popped in the background, but you know, this is an old route. I don't mind that so much, you know, the pleasure I get out of this. Got sun beating down there. I hope they got blinds. Looks like they got blinds, so it's alright. When we started off at 13 minutes past 5, it was still quite dull, wasn't it, in that early light? But now it's coming to quite nicely. A very nice place, Scotland, isn't it? Now you're all saying to me, which bit? This bit. This bit's definitely nice. The Highlands are very nice, yeah. Must be great being a driver up and down this stretch. It's maybe a bit scary in bad weather, but other than that, on a day like this, very pleasurable. We'll be there pretty soon, you know. They're still going uphill. All that time, still going uphill. I mean, this is great. Look at the rivers, like. We've got rivers winding round, going under the railway. Following the road. And on a lot of these routes, some of the early morning runs are good for the lighting, etc. There's quite a bit of work going on trackside as we've been on this journey. Look how we slowed right up to 66 now with this hill. We're reaching the top. I can see down below on the hood we're reaching the top though, so we'll be back in business. Got a 90 through here. See what they've done there. They thought, where can we put the railway? Oh, let's just dig a hole right through the rock. That's just the top of the hill. You even saw the bump in the track there. And we're starting to speed up, so that's good. I always say it, but even the sun cascading on the driver's sort of dashboard is a pretty nice effect. Now, as we go around the curve there, look, it moves as it would if we were driving this properly. It's just those little details. And the same in TSW, it does exactly the same thing in TSW. Quite a good view. You can see the green in the distance as well. That's a mile away, that green. Just looking on the hood, but you could still see it. Even from that distance. Big long stretches. Let's do a save, shall we? And then we're in a good position should we have a disaster or computer malfunction. I imagine this section of the route is a bit wild in winter. See how open it is with the hills. Probably gets both extremes, doesn't it? It can be so scenic and nice looking during the summer, and then in winter it can be, you know, probably treacherous. It's probably quite treacherous. Look at this big curve we've got going on. It's awesome. Hope you're enjoying this leg. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you are. And we got 20 miles to Carstairs, where we will do the uncoupling manoeuvre. I gotta say, I find the uncoupling in TS Classic a little bit more fiddly than I do with TSW. I don't know why. But we should manage, because we know we've got to detach the rear 8. So in the briefing, it always gives you... I think it's probably because it gives you like a list of numbers. And when you go down to this section, the numbers are not always in order, the same order as in the briefing. So you've got to make sure you actually detach the right ones. So we'll sort that out when we get there. But we're still on time. In fact, we're bang on time. We're due in at 6:17, and that's what time it wants us to arrive as well. So let's take that off so you can see the hood again. Big wide river there over to the left hand side. Now some of you know this route, know this area, will probably have to tell me what river that is. Maybe it opens out into some lock somewhere. Right, let's do a flyby. About up this little elevation here. Here it comes around the bend. Might be able to see the whole train from here. Indeed, you can. Perfect. Like a very summery morning. Actually, I don't know what month this is set in. I don't know if it's said in the briefing or in the scenario description, I should say, before I launched it. I don't think it tells me. It tells me the year, but it doesn't tell me the season. It's quite obviously spring or summer, I would say. So hopefully, once all these legs and parts are ready to go, the schedule will have already been announced to you, and you'll be able to sit and watch to your heart's content from the beginning all the way up to Inverness. I think this is possibly the first time the Ambassadors have done something like this. Quite a nice little collaboration, really, across many of us in the team. We're all massive fans of train simulators, of course, so it's been quite nice to get together with everybody and do something like this, I must admit. So if you have any suggestions, as I mentioned earlier, any suggestions for any other trip that we could perhaps do that you know will work, and we've got the DLCs to be able to do it, then let us know. I'm not letting British Ace pick, because he won't get us off the third rail. We'll be down south on the third rail and we won't move anywhere else. He's biased a little bit in that way. There's no third rail on this stretch. Wow, shaking around there, look. Right, we're only 12 miles away, so we will be preparing fairly soon, in the next 10 minutes, to slow down as safely as possible and try not to wake anybody up, although I imagine when we detach the coaches, that might give a few people a jolt. They could, as I said, they could be serving breakfast by now. There might be I don't know if you're meant to wake up. You're probably meant to be ready by the time you get to Glasgow. You're probably meant to be ready to step off. So they'll want to be coming round the steward or whoever it is. I imagine it being like a ship with a steward coming knocking on your door and saying, you know, Glasgow in 15 minutes or something to that effect. Yeah, I presume many people will be breakfasting about now. Maybe they serve breakfast from about 6:30. You know, as soon as we uncouple the rear 8, all the Edinburgh passengers can start having their breakfast, and the Glasgow, we can carry on with this loco, and the Glasgow mob can all have their breakfast as well. I like it. I like the idea, I must admit. 10 to go. And I missed those workmen as I looked away, so I didn't get a chance to sound the warning. If you're interested, by the way, I have done a full run from London Euston to Glasgow Central in the Pendolino in TS Classic. It's on the feed. You'll see it on the on my channel. And obviously, it as I said, you can't do the whole thing in one go. There's a couple of merges, but there's nothing yet that covers the whole route end to end. So on the what I did was I cheated a little bit. I ran the different sections and then I sort of edited them together with some commentary at Euston when we started, and I think some commentary at Birmingham, and then again at Preston, and then when we reached Glasgow. So unlike this one, and you might think it's a good thing, I'm not talking the whole way through it. There's just several points where I talk, but I edited them all together into one big video. So if you want to see the whole route from Euston all the way to Glasgow in the Pendolino, go and have a look for that on the channel. I think you might enjoy that. You might want to watch it in several sittings because it's quite a long one, but it is on there if you want to see it. The other thing we did just recently as well is we did the whole of the East Coast main line. So this time we started in Scotland. We started up at Edinburgh, and we did it in 2 sections over 2 live streams. So we went from Edinburgh to York on the first stream, and then the day after we picked up in York and we drove all the way down to King's Cross. That's in the Azuma. That's quite recent. You'll see those on the feed as well. So if you're an East Coast mainline fan rather than West Coast, you can go and have a look at that, see what you think. Lots and lots of fun doing those. It was fun to do the East Coast mainline as a stream because lots of you came in whilst it was live just to accompany me on the way down, and many of you watched it on demand as well, which is quite nice. So thank you for that. If you're one of those people that viewed it. Always appreciated. Right, we've got 7 to go. As with all these journeys, they're quite long, but they seem to pass quite quickly. They're so enjoyable to me, the time just passes. you get through the miles quite, you know, quicker than you would expect. When I saw at the beginning it was 75 miles from Carlisle just to Carstairs. That's a long way. But it seems to have gone very, very quickly. But it is such a nice route to look at. There's things to do as you go along. You know, you can admire what it looks like, which is always good. That's a credit to the guys that made this route. Still cruising at 80 as we have for most of this trip. Nice steady pace. I shall get my jumpy fingers ready for the brakes very soon. Another very, very big curve going on right here on this section. Texturing's quite nice on the side of the 90, isn't it? Starting to get slowed down pretty quick. So if we're driving something else, we're going from 125 to 110 coming up. So this is probably where it starts. Let's just create a quick save. There we go. That's the good thing about this, it saves very quickly. Don't want to break the immersion too much by doing that, but it is important. So it's going 110 to 100. We're still way under that, of course. See the flashing yellow. So I will take the power off just for now. Just put the initial brake in. We are going to a 40 and a 30. Just under 1.5 miles, so just outside the station. A good rate of braking. I'm quite happy with that. Signal just went green. Let's go to step 2. Make sure we do get right the way down where we need to be. Step 3. slight overspeed into the 30, but it's fine. There is another 90 there poking out. We're going to have a quick look at that. I wonder if that is the one for Edinburgh. Right, we're stopping at Carstairs, down loop, exit 3. And we are in decent time. It's just gone 6:15. The train itself is going to depart at 6:30. So as I said, I will once we get stopped, I will skip time ahead and come back. Make sure we get everybody in the platform. It's the back 8, obviously, that we need to leave in the platform. So we can pull ahead just to make sure they're in. Voyager going the other way. Virgin Trains. The busy old service, that. Right, let's come to a stop. This is the exit. There we go. Right, so we need to just wait for this to register, and then we'll need to unhook the back 8, which we will do. Then we'll just pull forward slightly just to make sure that it's done. Now, detach the rear 8 coaches, which will continue to Edinburgh under the control of the other locomotive. Alrighty then, so let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's unhook it. This is what I find a bit tricky. I'm never sure where I'm meant to be doing this. There we go. Good job. Now load and unload the passengers, await the right of way. So, first of all, let me just pull forward just a little bit. And we can... oops, not that. Let me just go back to that. That's what I wanted to do. And then we can unload the passengers. What do I do then? Let's have a look behind us just to make sure that we're all good. There we go. So those are the ones for Edinburgh at the back. They might still be asleep, those guys. These are our guys here. So let's just go and have a quick look over here, because I think this might be the loco. I wonder if this is the loco that is going to Edinburgh. Could be, couldn't it? Would a DB do that? A DB red? I don't know. It could be that. He's there for some reason, isn't he? Must be. He's waiting for me to go, and then he's gonna get out of there with these ones for Edinburgh. So yeah, there we go. So that's us to Carstairs. We are not allowed to depart. Let's just check again. We're departing 6:30, so we got like a 10-minute layover. So I will skip ahead, and I will be back with you in the blink of an eye. There we go. I told you it'd be in a blink of an eye. We're really nearly ready to depart from Motherwell, which we should get any time now. So we're due out at 6:30. So yeah, we should get ready. You can hear the cocks crowing there, can't you? To get everyone out of bed. Let's just pop back in, shall we, and get ready for our departure, because we do have a 30 out of Carstairs. So I'm going to go and set the speed set, all ready to go. I'm going to drop the brakes into step 1, and we should be all good to go anytime now. Let's just check the schedule again. Yes, we're meant to leave at 6:30, so I don't know why it's held me a little bit longer than that. And we're due in at Motherwell at 6:49 with a minute to stop at Motherwell, and then we're carrying on for Glasgow. Should be there 7:18. Right away, driver. Please note the signal ahead is currently having issues. Press tab to obtain permission to pass it at danger. All right, we'll do that, shall we? Let's get the brakes fully off, and we'll get moving. I'll tab. Request to pass signal at danger approved. So there we go. I will just take another save. There we go. Onward to Motherwell. Motherwell is in just under 16 miles. So again, as I said, that first stretch is the longer stretch. The next couple that we're doing are just smaller hops. But there's the Glasgow coaches we've left behind. We've got a much shorter train now. And we'll soon be able to get back up to our customary 80 for this trip. Let's just bob back in. Increase the throttle, get us up there a bit quicker. Right, off we go. Let's get up to 80, shall we? And hopefully we can get to Motherwell on or about time, because of course if you're a little bit late getting into Carstairs, you have a little bit of time there to reset and get back on time again before you need to leave. So hopefully we'll reach Glasgow on time, but we'll see. The morning's brightened up quite nicely now. Blazing sunshine. It's going to be a very hot day, I think, up here in Scotland. Looks like the coal loader over there on the left from Steamtown. A coin for... That's probably what that is, isn't it? There's something over there. They run steam engines around there. Maybe it's a loader for some kind of aggregates or something. Again, if you know what that is over there, that factory on the left or that plant, let me know. Right, onward to Motherwell. And once we get to Glasgow, you'll be spending, in the next couple of legs, you'll be spending a little bit of time in Glasgow. So hopefully you enjoy that. And then we will get you out towards the Highlands, which I know you'll enjoy. See some proper Scotland. There's plenty of buses on this route as well, I've noticed, as we've been travelling up from Carlisle. No matter what time of day it is, there's buses. Most buses only run from about 6, don't they? There's buses way before that. Maybe they start a bit earlier. It depends. Maybe it depends where you are. must be time for another flyby, so let me get out of the cab and do that. Let's just go up here, shall we? Let's go just where this bridge is, why not? Actually, just I think Glasgow's right outside Motherwell, isn't it? What's the timings again? Let me just check the timings. Departing Motherwell 6:50 and arriving Glasgow at 18. Yeah, 28 minutes. We may get there earlier than that. Mileage-wise, not sure what it is between Motherwell and Glasgow. Just have a look in my notes. Did I make a note of that? I've got a book here with all sorts of scribbles in from the different journeys. What train we were going to use, what the service was called. I'm just taking a quick look now. All I can tell you is it is 102 miles in total between Carlisle and Glasgow. 102. We did 75. This was another, what was this? Another 16, 17. So yeah, it's about a similar distance then, isn't it, once we get out of Motherwell. What else did I do earlier? I did the Trent Valley to Lichfield. That was a short one. That was only 17 miles. And then I did the missing link Stafford to Preston. That was 76 miles. So far this is the longest one. Out of the ones I've done so far, this is the longest one. When we get to the Kyle of Lacouche, I actually think that's about 82 miles, you know. That's a long one. And of course, being that the Highlands, we're not at full speed by any stretch across the whole of that, which is why I thought we'd split it into two, because it might be a little bit more enjoyable as well that way. Is that 318? Was that the Strathclyde livery? I can't remember. We shall soon be slowing down for Motherwell though. We're due in a tiny bit before the booked time. So we have a little bit of time to brake correctly and not worry about it. Stand back please from the yellow line. Thank you. .5 miles to go. Yeah, we'll need to work out the total mileage by rail, I think, once we finish for the whole trip. I think that's an interesting stat. See how much we've covered between us, between the ambassador group. Right, let's get down for 70, shall we? But we do have a 60 coming up, so we should probably get down for that as well. To be quite honest with you, I could quite look forward to doing this whole trip over time on my own as well, which might be something we do in the future. I'd love to say that I've been able to do the whole thing. That'd be quite a good achievement. I would have to make sure that I've got all the DLCs, mind you, because especially with TS Classic, there is quite a bit that you actually need, and you need scenarios, of course. So you can do quick drives, but sometimes the quick drives don't have AI traffic, and you like to see a little bit of AI traffic as you're doing these things. It keeps it a little bit interesting. There hasn't been much on this one yet. There's been a few, but as I said, as we get towards Glasgow, you'll see a fair bit. So yeah, there's an idea for the future, I think. Right, we've got under 5 miles. I'm sorry, to go now to Motherwell. Let's set the speed to 70 for now. Then we'll briefly go back to the 80 as well. And we do have yellows coming up. That's a double, so we've got a single coming up. Probably I can see it's yellow in front. So why don't we just take the power off and we can be ready for a gradual stop. Could potentially have this red in 1.5 miles. There's someone at the track there. Starting to build up scenery wise now for Motherwell. That's a single yellow. Trying to see if we've got a red ahead of us. Indeed, we've got a red, so let's be careful with that one. Now, it could be around here where I've got the phantom train coming past, where it's one of the scenario requirements that I don't own. So apologies for that. If you hear a train come past, I'm sure it's around here somewhere. If you hear a train come past and you don't see it, that's what it is. I'll let you listen to it and you guys can tell me what it is. I think I know what it is. But if you hear it, you can tell me. But actually we've got the yellow, so I'm just wondering whether it's a little bit further up. There definitely is one that comes past. Thought it was here. Maybe it's more towards Glasgow. A little guessing game for you. Right, we're not far away, 2 miles, but we do have a red, I believe, in front. I think it's just gone yellow for us. Just had a little bit of speeding. Wow, those guys, look at them, those guys in the platform there, did you see them? Walking through the concrete. Not really sure what that station was actually, come to think of it. Right, we're just coming nice and easy. Don't want to miss any of these AWS magnets on the way in either, after doing so well since the e-brake earlier on. We should arrive pretty much bang on time. Just quite nice. Bang, yeah, this, like I said, this is only a short hop. This section's very short. I do see a red now before the platform. This could be where I was thinking. We'll soon find out. The platform is just ahead of the signal, as you can see from the hood. Ah, there we go. That was nice. We got the yellow. Helps if I don't accelerate while the brake is partly on. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Motherwell. Never been to Motherwell. Been to Glasgow. Don't think I've been to Motherwell. Right, let's provide a decent stop. If we can. Welcome to Motherwell, pronounces the big signage there on the left-hand side. Let's stop here before we run out of platform. Get the doors open. Let's have a quick look down the train, shall we? Don't know if there's anywhere we can see in at all. Nobody's getting off with bags or anything. There's some passengers departing. Is it all sleeping? Oh, I was going to say if we got anywhere like a day coach, as I would call it. So, you know, if you're not sleeping, you can. There's somewhere else you can go. This looks like it. There's two of them. And something for the luggage, it looks like, or some additional parcels, or pop back to the front. There you go, you see, look at that. In case you didn't know where you were, look at the size of that thing. Is that a real thing? That's massive. That's probably been replaced since it's depicted in this DLC. It probably looks way different now. It's probably newer signage than that, I expect. Right, let's check our schedule. Departing 6:50, arriving Glasgow 7:18. Right away, driver, it says. So we will definitely do that. Off we go. In fact, you know what? Let's watch it departing, shall we? Familiar squealing of the coaches on the way out. So we got under 13 miles to Glasgow. And we can accelerate up to the 80, so let's do it. Really nice trip up from Carlisle. I've enjoyed it. Of course, we'll do a save point. I really should have done that at Motherwell. That didn't interrupt everybody's concentration. So we're actually due in 7:13 at the moment, so we're quite ahead of time. Likely to be busy going in and out of Glasgow, I would think. So we might get held slightly. We'll just have to see what happens when we get there. Yeah, I don't know where that Phantom AI is that I keep talking about. I'm sure I remember it. Maybe I filled the gap now in the scenario since I last played this. Not sure. Not sure. So 23:50 out of London Euston this, and we're due to arrive at 7:15. It's not bad going, that, is it? If the line speed's 80 the whole way, it's not bad going, that. And I'm firmly sort of assuming it's just not one crew that take this as well. It's going to be a couple of crews. Do they change at Preston, perhaps? Not sure. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a single yellow here. It does look yellow. So we'll slow it back down again. This is where time will creep up on us a little bit. So I could potentially have a red coming up. Just over half a mile. Going to be right around this corner, isn't it? So we can't see it. So let's brake accordingly, just in case. Still can't see the signal. There it is. There it is. It is indeed a red. So it's best to be cautious. Right. Let's see. This. I'll keep mentioning it. This could be where the AI is. I'm sure there's a red where we get stuck. I can hear something come past. It might be this. Let's see. Let's just see. I hear it. Oh, that's on the other line. No, we're good. We're good with that one. That's a real one. Oh, there is something, isn't there? There's something going past us. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Will it show it on here? Just briefly. Don't think it does because it's not existing. Odd when that happens. But quite often with these scenarios, there's so much to run some of them. The ones that you get with the route, obviously, are able to be played with everything that comes with the route. It's just if you start downloading them from Train Sim Community and other places like ATS, etc. Ones that have been crafted by other players, they tend to need quite a few requirements. Right, so we're just waiting for this red, and once we get it, we can proceed on. Not that far away, we're less than 10 miles now from Glasgow, so it's not too bad. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it so far. It's been a blast for me. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed having you on the channel and watching this. If it's your first time on the channel, welcome. Thank you for coming in. Do appreciate it, and hope you're enjoying the whole journey that the ambassadors are doing. Quite a unique idea, really. Let's hop back in. Hopefully that's cleared up a bit of congestion ahead. That was a single yellow, so of course I should be pretty cautious still with this next signal. Once we get around this corner, I can actually see what that is. Green. We got a green, so we're all good. We're all good. Right, let's go. There's probably just something ahead of us in this station. If you're a TS Classic player, by the way, drop down in the comments what your favourite route is. There's quite a lot of routes, not just UK routes. There's routes all around the world, and as I mentioned right at the beginning, I tend to play the UK stuff. But if there's something else in TS Classic that you particularly enjoy, just let me know in the comments, and I might take a look at that if I don't already own it. I am still kind of discovering where we can go in TS Classic, and whilst I've built up the sort of UK collection that I've got, you know, I'm quite happy to try other countries as well. That's what it's all about. So if you've been playing it for a long time, you'll be the guys that know. So yeah, do let me know. And we just got under 7 miles now into Glasgow. As we sneak around the back of this station. And a double yellow. So we're likely to get this now all the way in, so... Let's make sure we get there with no mishaps after all this time. Yeah, we're getting a red every mile or so now, aren't we? All the way in. I suppose that's what you would expect, though, wouldn't you? Something as built up as sort of Glasgow. There's a lot coming into Glasgow from different directions, and it doesn't surprise me, to be honest. The amount of traffic. So we'll just wait here, see if we can get a quick clearance. There's quite a few smaller stations on the way in as well, isn't there? So there's every possibility that you've got something slower ahead of you that needs to move out of the way first to give you the path. The estimated time of arrival's not moved though. It's still 7:13. It's been 7:13 for quite a while. So it's not holding us up too much at the moment. I don't mind this. I don't mind this in TSW as well, where we get a few adverse signals. I think it enhances the driving experience a bit more. If it was all green signals all the time, it would be pretty dull, wouldn't it? So I'm all for it. Right, we got a single yellow, so again we could have a red straight after this, so we'll just play it cautiously. If I take that down there and perhaps do a flyby just down here without risking the signal if possible. Cambuslang this is. As we creep through, I'm keeping an eye on that signal that's coming up, 0.38. As we go through Cambuslang, I won't watch the whole train go through. I'll pop back in. It is double yellow. It is indeed double yellow. Things are looking up. So this is leg 12. I'll see you again for leg 17. So there'll be a few more in between before I speak to you again. But yeah, all your feedback is welcome. And it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm quite pleased I was able to be the one that brought you into Scotland, because the first part of the journey, all English, of course. It was nice to get you over the border. As we get a 75 there. There's where all the traffic's been hiding, look. Right, it's 3.5 miles. It all starts to build up. All the scenery builds up now. There's the depot on the right. Is that Paul Maddy? Is that how you pronounce it? Paul Maddy? I'm never quite sure. There's another Virgin Voyager over there, look, as well. I think what we'll do is we'll start coming down for the 30. Actually, the 325 that we ran on, which leg was it? It was leg 9. It does have a few services for West Coast Main Line North as well, if you have the 325. And they're always nice doing the mail runs. You know, if that's your kind of thing, certainly is mine. We're just over a mile now out of Glasgow Central. Lots of stuff, isn't there, converging on Glasgow, as we were just saying earlier. You can just see on your way in from this side. Lots of different routes coming together. Ah, we're racing some AI in over this side. I don't want to do too much of this because you know what's going to happen. We'll get some kind of spad situation. We need to be down to 20. Well, he's right up the side of us now, look. What a show off. Look at him. Right, so this is our signal. The signals can get confusing. Don't want to slow down too much, but... So we've got a single yellow on this one. And we should hopefully cross over because we're going into platform 1. So let's definitely slow down now for this. There we go. Yeah, it's quite obviously something coming past us that I haven't got. You can hear it, which is a bit unfortunate. I'll need to have another look at that at some point. It won't help you guys out because you'll have missed it, but yeah, it's a shame. Now, I think this is our signal on the right. I think we are switching to the right here, which is platform 1. Yeah, which is where we're going. Do what I mean? It can get a little bit. It can get a little bit confusing with the signals on that section just there. Right, 15 on the way into the station. And this is Glasgow Central. So welcome to Glasgow. So we've made it this far from Penzance now. And straight after this, you're back on TSW for a quick trip around the Cathcart Circle. Then again, you'll be on the Glasgow subway. Then you'll be going on the suburban Glasgow northwest route from Queen Street High Level to Helensburgh Upper. Then you'll be crossing over to the West Highland Line South at Helensburgh Upper to Fort William. And then Fort William to Mallaig. And that's when I'll be back with leg 17, the Carlisle of Lacouche to Inverness, which is the furthest point we can get to in either of the two train simulators. So I'm quite looking forward to that journey with you. Let's make sure we can find our train, wherever that is. We're outside at the moment. There we go, that's where we are. Let's open the doors. So all that remains is for me to just thank you once again for joining me all the way up from Carlisle to Glasgow Central in this leg. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope again you are enjoying the series. Do leave me a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. We got over 17,500 subscribers, so do feel free to come and join the club. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the legs that are coming up with the other ambassadors, and I'll see you for leg 17 in the very beautiful Carlisle of Lacouche. Take care everybody, all the best.